I've been living on this earth for a little while, just for a very small space of time. Very small space of time. And there's a lot of things that I'm just flat out ignorant in. And I can admit that. Some of us, man, saving face has become a high commodity because some of us, we feel like that our opinion is valid on every point. We feel like that we can add our personal opinion to anything that's been said today. And the reason why we do that, because the majority of our opinions come from common consensus. Now, since common consensus has been manipulated by our government school training, and i.e. The institutions where we have been trained in, and not many of us have done too much, if any at all, independent thinking or independent research to come to our own viable conclusions. So when you get on YouTube, you'll hear many people make statements. That's the reason why I leave the comments up. And there'll be different opinions coming from different backgrounds. People have a different diversities of opinions because of the diversities of background. And the majority of the people do not reply to facts or according to facts. They usually reply according to how they feel. In other words, they are in a reactive stance and nature rather than learning how to respond. Because to learn how to respond means that you have to burn the oil all the time. And you've got to come to a factual conclusion and not something that is motivated just by feelings and emotions. So you're not going to get everybody to agree on everything. And of course, many people that listen to me, you have to really be careful in how you listen. Even the scriptures teaches us to take heed to how you hear. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because, every video that you see, I don't care how many videos I watch on YouTube or whether you're watching mine myself, the majority of people, or 99% of the comments, do not come because people have done their own independent research, but it's based on feelings and emotions, which is not actual or factual anyway, because most of us are not even sure. Most of us don't even know what was the very genesis of our feelings and emotions. And since we don't really truly understand that, and we continue to keep replying as such, that's the reason why we have so much confusion going on today. So I'll get people who would disagree. They'll agree with me about 1,000 things, but then I'll say one thing, and then all of a sudden they disagree with it, and they, for some reason, it never enters into their mind that I only talk about the things that I understand, that I've researched very well, and that I've come to my own personal conclusions through factual research and not through feelings and emotions. So I did a video here this morning while myself and the brother were out early this morning laying block on revolution. Has there ever been known in the history of mankind anything to ever change or get resolved by a peaceful revolution? Well, the truth is, I think not. They'll say, man, there was a bloodletting in the stock market today, so we speak in these metaphorical terms. And we've have allowed our minds and our conscience to be manipulated. We live in a very fictitious world to where everything comes from an abstract viewpoint, and nothing is really concrete or real. Well, I function after the real, and that's the only way I can see that people are going to really truly get true understanding. But listen to what I had to say here this morning, and then do some careful consideration. Don't respond according to your feelings and emotions. I hope that you can hear. I understand that only a few people are going to hear me, and that's because the people that do hear me and do understand and do get it, that's because we're functioning out the same spirit. And I know that that's only going to be a few and not a many. But take a listen. Hear what I had to say this morning. All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow, and we're talking here this morning. Here straightway. We're here this morning talking about revolution. And as we are talking about revolution, we're trying to figure out, in the history of man, When has there ever been a time to where there's been a so-called, listen to me very closely, peaceful revolution? You think about this for a moment. As far as I know and tell and can tell, there's never ever been a moment in time where anything ever got solved in what you call a peaceful revolution. Now let me tell you the truth what's going on. You see, people are defeated by words. And when people get sick and tired of words, because there's no action that is backing up the words, then they always resort to other means that are necessary, which is revolt. Now, it's truly not rebellion whenever you're trying to accomplish what the people who are using words, or the people who are using words to continually to deceive you, to continually to take advantage of you, to continually to run you amok. As long as they continue to keep using these words and have you to have this so-called heightened sense of awareness to where you think something is going to change, everything is going to get better soon, they understand that when they do this, it makes you docile, and they just they're hoping that nobody would ever resort to action. So when we're sitting up here and we're watching all of these countries, you know, like this first world country, England, and all these people up there revolting, of course, you know, the powers that be are going to always use the race card on it, because people don't understand racism. They think they understand, but they don't. But there's never ever been anything solved by human beings, especially for change, without a revolution. And that revolution means bloodshed. Nothing has ever changed because people sit down at a table and kept talking about words and words and words. I mean, you think about it. If we follow the policies of the United States of America, I assume that we want peace throughout the whole world, right? So how do we as America accomplish what we call peace throughout the whole world? Well, I'll tell you how we do it. We sit down at tables, and then we put news sources up there to promote our agenda, but in truth, we're committing genocide on all these countries in the world. We have got military forces stationed in over 234 countries in the world. That's called an empire. And you know how we're getting peace? Because we're killing folks. You know how we get it? Because there's a lot of innocent civilians dying. Because they call it, in their terms, collateral damage. So the truth is, you can hear what people are saying. You can listen to all these people, because these people who are punks and are sissies that are sitting up here, the reason why they don't want you to revolt, because you know who heads are going to spin? Their heads are the ones going to spin. That's the reason why the politicians keep talking about peace, 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 peace. Now, before long, what's going to happen is that anybody who is standing up for the rights of the people, what happens? They get axed. Look at Abraham Lincoln. Look at John F. Kennedy. Look at Martin Luther King. Look at Malcolm X. Anybody who stands for the rights of the people, and they're sick and tired of people getting jacked, they kill them. I guess that's called a peaceful revolution. You see, what the powers be hate more than anything is for 360 million people to no longer hear their lies and propaganda anymore. They're done for. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. The only way America is ever going to be taken back is it's going to have to take a revolution. And that revolution is not going to come because a bunch of people are sitting around tables drinking coffee, sipping tea, and running their mouths. Because the powers that be, they have got you deceived, hoodwinked through words. But pretty soon, the actions that you see taking place out there in the world is coming here in America. You better believe it. And it is going to be a war. It is. And nobody can, we can't escape it. So you may be fearful because you don't like nobody talking these kind of words. I don't like to hear that people have to die more than you do. But I do know it's necessary. And as for me and my own personal stance, I'm either going to live free or I'm going to die hard. And that's just the truth. And that's the truth straight way. There ain't no need in sitting up here living in a country, living in a so-called world under deception, thinking that you're free while you are oppressed and while you're continually taken advantage of. And they tell you that you're free based on the laws that they pass, and they themselves do not even keep the laws that they themselves supposed to enforce and pass. So you see these people over in England rebelling and revolting. If you watch these news medias and see when they play a race card, mark my words if they're not already doing it. But it's time for us to cut off the TV. It's time to cut that junk and that mess off and start listening to people who really, truly understand what's going on. And that is the truth. And that's the true straight way.